Greetings to you out there and here and everywhere. I'm your host, Majesty, and this is another session of Majesty's music lesson. Hope you're feeling airy and everything is evoluting in a positive manner. Well, greetings once again. It's fine to be here with human beings of intellect, which is what the human being was made to deal with. So you have to wonder why there is all this confusion. Something has happened to the human being's intellect. Well, you cannot fix people's intellect like that, but at least you can try with the people in your nation. Because if you can't fix the people in your nation, where you have the biggest influence, then how can you fix other people? Now, if someone is not looking after their own children, would you leave your children with them and they're not even looking after their own? Well, you see, until you face reality, you will become a fool. And this is why Mr. Hyde, a previous president, became a fool in the people's eyes. Many people. I remember one time I was at a monument. I used to reason with this lady, and I would always tell her, well, you know, it's this he did, that he did. You know, I say, I never know such one man who would get so many bad names. She a day she said, look, don't call the man name again. Don't call the man name again. Don't. This woman, like, she started to hyperventilate. I can't call his name again. You see, the reality of this world, people like to shun it and pretend it didn't happen. They're all fools. And there is no place for the foolish in the earth. Those who follow fools shall punish and suffer. And I'm saying these things because I know why I'm standing here today in 2017, safe in Guyana, where there's a spiritual, physical, psychological, whatever English terminology you want to call it, realm around myself, that I am protected because I am here. And so I'm telling you, I know I'm safe here today because of the Black Army. And this is one of the first topics I want to talk about tonight. I want to say clearly and unequivocally that there is only one Black Army. You can check it, go around it. If there is not one Black Army, then there probably is no Black Army. As a matter of fact, it appears as if there is no Black Army. Can anyone identify the Black Army anywhere? Where it's training and it's marching and it has its weapons and stuff and, you know, has its scientists and stuff, you know, and its government. No, but there, you can't identify that, but there is a Black Army. Because the African nation deals with philosophy. Let me digress a little bit to the educational part of the Black nation, which is a major or the major part of its culture, because culture is the education that is handed down after the new arrivals of a people. That is culture. Not just the word tradition as they talk about. No, I deal with education, cultural education. And culture really means refinement. The refinement of that nation comes through its culture. You can go and look up the word culture and see what they say. People don't speak accurately. They don't speak precisely. And you can be very easily entered into a world of carefreeness, that nothing has no specific meaning. It's just all like a game. No, culture is not a game. And black culture, which, like I said, the foundation of it is black education, comes from, and understand this, every nation has to know what it has. I cannot say what is the cultural education of Indians in explaining it directly. But what you don't see, they see something. Europeans, similarly, they see something that you don't see. And they have certain history that is embedded in them that you don't know of. Every nation, that's the case. So for the black nation, education is the foundation of our culture. Our culture comes in the form of education. Knowledge. Now, the black nation deals with philosophy. We are a philosophical nation. People don't tell you these things because what has happened is that coming out of colonialism, we have been placed in the European colonial system of education, and we have basically continued that. A few presidents have made changes, well, like Burnham, like Castro, and a few others, I guess, around the world. Kwame and Nkrumah, you know, Gaddafi, and, you know, certain people, persons, certain presidents. But this is where we ended up after coming out of colonialism and gaining independence with this inherited form of education, which we taught and keep thinking that is the highest form of education. Only thing you got to do after that is go to university and you get a degree and you've got the highest form of education. You've been fooled big time. Now, and you don't even understand your culture. You don't even know what is the significance. You don't know what it's all about. As a matter of fact, most of the educated people see the black culture as a nothing culture, as a sing and dance and beat drum. But let me explain to you. We are a philosophical nation. We deal with philosophy. For example, land to the tiller is a philosophy. It's not just a slogan, it's a philosophy. Every citizen a soldier is not a slogan, it's a philosophy. Imperial Majesty spoke things that are the philosophies of the black nation. Marcus Garvey spoke things that are the philosophy of the black nation. Forbes Burnham spoke things which are the philosophy of the black nation. These things supposed to be taught. If you don't know that, you are not educated. Now, that's how I was talking about. There's only one black army. That comes out of every citizen a soldier. Before, the English would call it the warriors. Well, that's English language, however we deal with it. But we don't call them warriors anymore, soldiers. Right? Because we were then called terrorists, you know. But we're soldiers, you know, defending our nation. We are not attack soldiers, you know. We are not the Marines. We don't just go in a country and take it over and shoot up people and take the resources. We are a defensive army. We defend our nation. We defend Ethiopia. We're not an invasion army. So every citizen a soldier is a philosophy of the black nation. The king used to be at the head of the army. And if he dies in battle, someone else has to take over. His heir apparent. There's a case in Ethiopia where I think it was Tewodros. He was about to be captured and he killed himself. You know chess, right? When your king gets captured, you got checkmate. So before his nation could get checkmated, he killed himself. This is the seriousness of the black army. Those who don't know it, listen as if it's a story, as if it's a movie, but it's not a movie. Every citizen, a soldier, is a philosophy. The most important philosophy. Because you have to guard a nation, else you won't have one. That's why I'm telling you about the reason why I'm standing here free today, because of the black army. That's why I used to be cleaning coffee monument, because I know the significance of coffee. Right? So, let me go to the philosophies. Because everything is in one, you know. Education, culture. The divisions that they have made in the school curriculum is nonsense, really. Where they specialize, and have you specializing in geography, or you specialize in history, or you specialize in mathematics. No. To be a priest, you had to know everything, because the priest was in charge of the society. The priests were the accountants, the priests were the teachers, the priests were the organizers of the society. They call them political parties today. But the people there are nothing. It basically have turned to opportunists. This is what the founders, who were fighting for independence, not maintaining a party as an economic venture, as a career up. No. It was to free the nation so that it could prosper. And that's why I'm prospering here, because of the black army. Now, let's go to the philosophies of His Imperial Majesty, King of Ethiopia, Crown King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering line of tribe of Judah in 1930, where King George's son Edward VIII was present representing the throne of England, and representatives from France, Germany, all over were there representing the various European powers. It was a grand occasion. African people, you don't have knowledge. You're in a very, very illiterate state. Now, let's go to His Majesty. Until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior. You hear the word that is used? The philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. That is a philosophy of the black nation. We never dealt with race. We dealt with content and character, integrity. Then, until they are no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation. How you could tell a man every citizen a soldier, but you got here as a second class and a third class and a fourth class. So he can be a third class and a fourth class soldier. So that is another philosophy of the black nation. Until the philosophy, right? Until they're no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation. And you see, His Imperial Majesty speaks to the whole wide world. He said, of any nation. And this is the role that the Black Army really represents. The maintenance of righteousness on the earth. Without the Black Army, righteousness is gone from the earth. Is it gone now? Yeah, because the Black Army was broken down. Next one. Until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. That's another philosophy, right? Which backing up the first philosophy until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior. Until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. Then the fourth one, which is backing up the second one, until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race. So, if until they're no longer first class and second class citizens, then of course the basic human rights have to be guaranteed to all. And then he says, until that day, the dream of lasting peace, world citizenship, and the rule of international morality will remain in but a fleeting illusion to be pursued, but never attained. For everywhere will be war. And you know the speech, because it is a speech Bob Marley put to music. Until that day, the dream of lasting peace, world citizenship. Oh, and he said, until the ignoble and unhappy regime that holds our brothers in Angola, in Mozambique, South Africa, subhuman bondage, have been toppled, utterly destroyed. Well, then everywhere is war. Because there are black people in that situation. So I want to ask people today, how do they feel when they see what is happening to the Haitians? How do they feel when they see what is happening to some Jamaicans, the kind of conditions that they got to live under? How do they feel when they see what's happening to the Africans in Sudan and other places in Africa, do they have any feelings for it? Or are they just studying money? I burn money when I turn Rasta, you know. Yeah. That's why I spend out money. And I have no bank account because I spend the money all the time. Yeah. And just like what Marley said, if money have to come, money won't come. This is when you have faith in the Almighty Creator, which we call confidence in the Almighty. So now faith, the most confidence that such will be. That's why don't be afraid to go against anything, because that will not stop my life or what is for me. Because like I said, there is a realm, an aura, a vibes that I can feel. And when you're with the ancestors, you could feel what's going on. Yeah. Because you're living in that world. That's the world I live in, the black world. I don't live in the white world. It's all around me. I just observe it. That's why I made the tune with they living in a white man's world. Great things when they can't take the pressure. Black people living in a white man's world. Mark the beast, make the children them must suffer. Yeah, yeah, living in a white man's. But bye. Can't take the pressure. Still they want to live in a white man's world. Move, yeah. Make the children them must suffer. Yeah, yeah. They say they want to live in the white man's world. Black politicians and them think they gonna get sheer diamonds and pearls. Come out of her, my people. I out of her, you know. When I turn Rasta, I come out of her. I even left regular public service work. And I haven't worked for salary since 1979. Because intellect does make you progress. Which is superior intellect. Beyond education. There is intellect, and there is superior intellect. People get education and they laugh. They think they have reached. They haven't reached nowhere. So now they can't even apply that education because the education is inferior. Now let me show you. 3 things I want to talk about. 1, the Black Army. 2, Black culture, which is a philosophy, and it's based on philosophies. We are a philosophical people. And the fact that the education system is not producing any scientists. We are scientists. Do I have to run down again all the things we invented? Now ask yourself, how come we don't control one of these inventions and be making money off of it? Well, we have traffic lights to sell to Guyana. Because I always have to get more traffic lights for every time a city increase or a village increase or a highway or whatever. You got to get more traffic lights. How come we're not making traffic lights when it's an African invented the traffic light? How come we're not making helicopters when it's an African invented that? And getting orders from all over the world. Because the Black Army was broken down and all that we invented was stolen. We had to hand it over. If it wasn't for the patents that was signed, at least they made sure they got their name down on the patent that I created this. We would have never known it because they never spoke of any of the inventions of African people. People had to go and research into the patents and find all these things. Yes, because the records are there. Unbelievable, isn't it? But you see, when you have things, you have to have an army to protect it. Else bandits will come and take it away. Because this is what the Europeans operate as. Bandit nations. This is why they are all building up arms. So the Black Army has to get itself together. Because the Bible has already told you of the Armageddon, which is going on all the time. We built a strength to gain independence from colonialism, and then we stopped. And we got mentally recaptured. The new strategy against the black nation is to capture your presidents. And those who are too wise, who can't be captured, who can't be bribed and bought, who are priceless, they assassinate or get overthrown, like Kwame Nkrumah. So, until the African knows that this is a serious war, it's not a jokey war, it's not a little stupid politics, they're going to enslave you again soon with chain around the neck. I know how I don't have chain around my neck now. The Black Army. And I have this picture here to let you know that I don't talk foolishness. The Black Army exists. So the operators focus on that picture. Who do you see in that picture here? It is young Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham and young Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's what I'm telling you. There is one Black Army, you know. We have gone past denomination. Understand that. And I have to get pictures with Martin Luther King and Elijah Muhammad, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and these kind of pictures. So you can see, when we sit down and speak, that's when they show you we are of the highest intellect, where we understand there is only one Black Army. One. We don't deal with denominations. All these denominations were created by the European, basically. Yeah. But they can't fool us. And this is why Martin Luther King, and you don't have to be a soldier picking up guns. Martin Luther King didn't pick up no gun. But the word is the most powerful thing on the earth. It can rise up armies. That's why people who speak great words, they want to get rid of. That's why they killed Martin Luther King. Now, these denominations, they form. That's why when you look now, you will see pastors who have gone beyond now into the true realm of brotherhood, which the Almighty gave unto them. The Almighty never gave them denominations. Allow Farrakhan to come, those with the guts. Because there's one thing you got to be in the Black Army, guts, which is what Martin Luther King had. And these pastors who allow Minister Farrakhan to come in their church and speak, they have the guts. You can make it skill, brains, and guts. That is the Muhammad Ali video. Because if you were fair, you could not go in front of Foreman and Smoking Joe and other hard hitters. You would give up the fight from the first blow you get. So that's why Muhammad Ali's video is named Skill, Brains, and Guts. Yeah. And to face Joe Frazier 3 times, Smoking Joe. So the Black Army It's only one army. You know, Muslim and he's a Muslim and he's a Christian and he's a Jew and we there beyond them nonsense. And that's when you got sense. When you reach the level. And the Nation of Islam reached that level. And that's what that's to show you that they progressed. Anytime you're living and you're not progressing, then you're not on the right path. You're not on the path of truth. The truth makes you progress. No one can stop the truth. And you get results. Yes. Because results is what tells. Results. So, and that brings me again to the education system. Because I saw today where they have this European guy talking about some analysis, or exam analysis or something like that. But they're looking at the wrong thing. He's just coming to organize the system. He's not looking at what the system producing. The system producing any scientists? Well, it's a jokey system. We African people are scientists. Now, could you give me some focus on the same portrait, operator? Once again. In the meantime, I want to tell you about the agricultural exhibition that we had, right? Which is the 1980 exhibition, which we spoke about the Greco stereo, the GRL fridge. We had the solar powered house, and I think it was several, but I know there was one in Bel Air. Yeah, run by a former QC6 farmer. I'm forgetting his name. Oh, shucks. Yeah. He was experimenting on that. So since in those times, 1980, we had the Greco stereo, Greco radio, GRL fridge, Tapir vehicle. We were making agricultural implements, not just mechanical, but also motor. Yeah. So, operator, could you give me a little focus on the portrait again? Yeah. What I want to show is this portrait. At the top here, right? I guess this blue probably is causing a problem. Maybe the picture, because of its green, have a little green in it. But this portrait here, it is I'm going to put it back just now. Hold on, operator. The world's first aluminum ship in Guyana's dockyard, built by Guyanese, with some of the aluminum from Guyana's bauxite mines. The world's first aluminum ship in Guyana's dockyard, built by Guyanese. This is it here. This is the dockyard. This is the ship. You can see from here going right up. Right? This is the platform at which it's on, in the dockyard, built by Guyanese. These are the kinds of things we were doing. Scientific things, because we are a scientific people. That's our philosophy, is one of science. So, Marcus asks, black man, where is your army? Black man, where is your navy? Black man, where are your high officials? Doesn't have any army. No, we have an army. those who know are in the army. That's why I got to get more of these pictures and show you that these people are together. This is young Burnham and young Farrakhan, you know, to tell you how long that association was. Now, and I think, yeah, they got pictures with Marcus and others too, right? But surrounding Marcus had great bishops and all these kind of people, because Marcus Garvey, the whole program, it even had church service in between, the whole conventions, you know. We are not a wara people. But our own people, I don't care other people try to treat us like wara, but it's our own people I have a problem with treating us like wara, which is the reason why others would treat us like wara, because our own people. We do not deal with first class and second class citizens, Mr. Granger. The basic human rights must be equally guaranteed to all. This is why Mr. Burnham said the smart man must be a real man. A real man is a man who has his own home and is comfortable with his living. That's a real man. And I showed you before who he's blaming for the state of villages of the African people. Let me see if I can find that again. The people who he was blaming for the state of the African nation in Guyana. He was saying that in many communities you go, you find dirty parapets, unkempt parapets, and unclean drains. And he said, this is not merely the default of the residents, but of the membership and activists who live in that community. Right? The membership and activists who live in that community. Right? And this is the one that I was reading, which is on human resource mobilization. Let me read directly what he said. In some communities, one finds, and this is the second biennial Congress of the PNC, Leaders Address, August the 12th to the 20th, 1977, titled Economic Liberation Through Socialism. He says, in some communities, one finds untidy parapets and drains, ill-maintained environments, and schools and school compounds. This is not merely the default of the residents, but the lack of leadership of party group members and activists. It is a crying shame that there should be any community, that there should be in any community such a gross lack of standards and pride that such untidiness should be apparent. Cleanliness is next to godliness is another philosophy of the black nation. Recently, okay, let me go on to this part here. And he was talking about crime in the communities. What he's saying here, these committees which we shall name officially before the end of Congress can be the hub of the respective communities, responsible even for institutions like education and health at the local level, and curtailing absenteeism and increasing efficiency. The potential is enormous. Here again, though membership should be open to all, the party members must be the moving spirits and purveyors. Members of a vanguard party must either lead, L-E-A-D, lead, or L-E-A-V-E, leave, go away. Don't stay here in this party. Go away. If you're not here to be, this is the vanguard party saying. These members going to lead wherever they go. So you either lead or leave. This is what he's saying. Burnham was never a joker, you know, because he never wanted to have a joke, keep people he being president over, because the people will reflect on the president. So this is what we're dealing with. This is what the PNC used to be. This is what it was projected to be. That those who get in the street will be the ones leading, because their job was to transform the communities to what the common leader saw fit, which is you're no longer first class and second class in any nation. So we can't have second class communities, third class communities. So here we're speaking of untidy drains and parapets and saying this is not the mere default of the residents. It is the group members, because he made sure that there were group members in every village. Because the vanguard party, apparently it's no more the vanguard parties for some time. Cultural emancipation is essential. Discipline. For an elaborate system such as we envisage, and if indeed we were to achieve the progress we need, there must be an all-pervading discipline in the party and the country. In the party and the country. Too often, ex-colonies, as I have remarked on other occasions, relieved of the firm hand and dictatorship of the imperialists, equate independence with license to doing their own thing. Then, when they learn that socialism seeks to liberate man, ex-colonials tend to feel that liberation means lack of discipline in all its forms, and freedom from any punitive sanction or dismissal. It is true that since socialism aims at full employment, I want you to listen again. It is true that since socialism aims at full employment, there is no great anxiety to dismiss an errant. But let it not be felt that ultimate sanction will not be exercised in proper cases, or that there are no other sanctions. So that is seriousness of the PNC. I know. And that's why in 1985 I was coming to join Burnham, when I had already checked him out now as a Rasta. I left work since 1979. I went overseas in 82, come back 84, came back 85. I was prepared to go back and come back to join Burnham. After 3 years in America, I was finished with it. And in relation to the hemp plant, I will have to bring a brother in, which I showed you pictures before from the New Nation, of the Rastas of Rastville, when there is no house there, when Rastville was given to some Rastas, 13 Rastas, supposed to grow food for 100 people. I will let that person come and give you his experience with Burnham in relation to the hemp plant. To show you they got different people, some working for the Almighty and some working for Lucifer. You cannot promote alcohol and lock up people for hemp. That means you're working with Lucifer. My time has come to an end. Thanks to Safe TV, thanks to Brother Dominic, and thanks to you, the audience. See you in the next 2 weeks.